You are in active service during the pandemic. This is a great. We have a lot of people on this Zoom that are interested in seeing what we can be doing better in the pandemic, even though our service projects are limited. We are able to still do service, and we are going to highlight two clubs that are doing just that. We are going to have Jane Mertz from the Kiwanis Club, a Milton Warrior Run, which has been pre-recorded because she was unable to join this morning, unfortunately, but she had some great information, and we do have some folks from that club, so we can get questions answered. Also, we have from the Kiwanis Club of Fort LeBeouf, Deborah Spalding. So first, we will start with Kiwanis Club of Milton Warrior Run.
Hi, Kiwanians. I'm Jane Mertz with the Kiwanis Club of Milton Warrior Run. I'm here to tell you a bit about the projects and activities that we did during COVID in 2020. Maybe your club can get some ideas. Before COVID hit, we were an active club, and as you can see from the photos, the bottom right-hand corner shows the crowd of mothers and sons that attend our Mother-Son Bingo event. The top right-hand picture shows us raising funds at our annual 4th of July sausage sale. We also host a daddy-daughter dance. That's one of our flyers that you see in the middle that goes home to every elementary age child. The bottom photo shows members at National Night Out, where we always give out 4 bikes. And of course, as you know, all these things were canceled. I'm sure many of your clubs have made trauma dolls or comfort creatures for children that experience trauma. The ones that you see us making here were given to the fire department. This was our last hands-on project before COVID hit. We have a few members that are good seamstresses, and one made the outline of the bear and sewed the outside. Members then stuffed the bears and stitched them closed. Once COVID hit, we voted to end our indoor meetings. We met at Watsontown's Park. We wanted to start off with very simple projects. Members were asked to write thank you notes to essential workers they encountered. Many thanked their postal workers or their newspaper carriers. Members were also asked to walk around their own neighborhoods and pick up any litter they see. We were able to find several of these ideas for projects from the Pennsylvania Kiwanis website under the COVID-19 news section. Also, you can see in the one picture, we gained a new member where the pin ceremony was held outdoors. This slide shows the huge amount of arts, crafts, and other items that were brought in by our members to keep our nursing home residents happy and busy. Our board gave our members suggestions, and they really came through. Some of the items collected were puzzles, word finds, crossword puzzle books, paint kits, markers, snacks, hard candy, and lotion. The nursing homes were thrilled to receive these donations. Before the school year ended, our club gave out senior awards in memory of 2 past presidents. One was given at Milton High School in memory of Dale Hill, and the other was given in memory of Jim Stolnecker of Warrior Run. In 2020, after picking up and sponsoring a community key club, we gave out the Outstanding Key Club Member Award. Reading is Fundamental, also known as RIF, serves as a community partner of Kiwanis International. There's a link that I've included at the bottom of the slide that you can click on later, and it'll take you to the resources page. We held a bingo summer reading contest for students in grades K to 6. This event was done all online. There were 2 levels of the bingo cards. The one you see on this slide was used for children in grades K to 3. Also, since many area businesses were having a difficult time during COVID, we bought 20 gift cards to 2 different restaurants as prizes. With the Black Lives Matter movement in full swing in our communities and the tension that was building even in our small towns, we wanted to reach out to the children who need to learn diversity and to ease racial concerns. We bought 10 copies of this book, All Are Welcome, and delivered them to area daycares and libraries. We also placed one in each of our 3 mini libraries that we currently have in laundromats. Now, this was an easy project that any club could do. When you click on the link at the bottom of the slide, it actually describes the program that we used in one of our meetings to tell members how they turn blue jeans into building insulation. Our club members donated 56 pairs of jeans. When they were collected, we printed out the address label found on Zappos.com, put them in a box, and took them to UPS. Everything was free. They took care of the rest at UPS. We teamed up with our local library to read books from special kits made especially for toddlers and pre-K children. Members taped themselves reading one book from the kit to the children. In this slide, you can see all the items that we collected for children in Northumberland County who have been placed in foster care. Many kids arrive at their new home with their items in a grocery bag. Our club bought 12 duffel bags and loaded them up with the items mentioned here. When I emailed the director for some ideas, she wrote that pajamas would be great to get, and I quote, "because as you can imagine, that first night is chaotic. It will be nice to give a bag with some immediately needed supplies available," end quote. The club purchased many sets of PJs in various colors and sizes. These were our only 2 fundraisers that occurred this past year. We had our annual book sale, which is a great fundraiser because it's all profit, and of course the Kiwanis rose sale. We were afraid we wouldn't be able to sell as many roses due to social distancing, but thanks to people asking their friends on Facebook, we made over $1,000. Here's a way to honor members in your own club that are essential workers. In this slide, we honored members involved in education. And in this one, we honored those involved in the healthcare field. We included small treats, sheets, gift cards, fuzzy socks, hand sanitizer. Those were some of the items that were given. Watsontown held a tree decorating contest this year, and club members got involved. Each year, the various civic organizations in Milton get together to buy gifts for needy children in the Milton School District. Rotary spearheaded this project. The school provides the names of the children. This is our 2nd year doing this project. The last activity that we held in 2020 was writing and sending Christmas cards to children that were being held in detention centers. We were able to find out the addresses of the centers, and many members got involved by writing Spanish greetings in the cards. Our goal was to send 50 cards, but members provided over 160. And finally, we started the year 2021 off by providing crayons and coloring books for children that need to wait in the urgent care center's waiting room. This was another very easy project that we did without meeting. Sets of books, crayons, baggies, and stickers were left outside on our secretary's porch, and members that could help took a set, put them together, and returned them to her porch. We did that for are Christmas cards for the detention centers, the blue jeans collection, the library kits, fostering hope supplies, and the nursing home items. We haven't met in person since February, but we have had several Zoom meetings. Most of these projects involve doing just a bit of a detective work of finding out who to contact. Most places have contact persons with email addresses. We did that with our local library, the nursing homes, their urgent care center, children and youth, our fire department, and the principals and superintendents of our school districts. It was easy to keep our members safe from the virus. Thank you so much for joining us at a look at our club. My email is jmertz@ptd.net if you have any questions.
We want to thank Jane for putting that presentation together. We're sad that she could not be here this morning. She was planning on it, but things happened, so we understand. But if you have any questions for Jane, that is her information. Feel free to reach out to her. They have some great stuff going on. And next up, we're going to have Deborah Spalding. I'm going to choose Spalding here from Fort LeBeouf. Just let me know when you want me to move slides.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everyone. You'll hear some similarities between the things that Jane shared and I did. And obviously, as we approached 2020, beginning in March, everything that we did was done with the idea of keeping our members and community members safe as we tried to come up with different ideas in order to engage our community and allow them to continue to see our presence in the community. The first thing was mask production. And as you recall, back in March of 2020, we continued to hear that our essential workers had a shortage of PPE. And a local group was developed here in Erie called Mask Erie. And their goal was to provide as many masks to essential workers and community members as possible. And so they were looking for volunteers, and our club stepped forward in order to assist them with their goal. Some of our members were sewing, others were tearing and cutting and ironing fabric in order to allow the seamstresses to put everything together. The nurse practitioner here in Erie that started this organization did a Zoom meeting with our group, and it was nice to hear that our club was one of the biggest mass producers of the masks for Mask Erie. The next thing we did is that we were thinking about, in the next slide, the members of our community that were perhaps in a much different position than we were, and those were those patients in nursing care. And we knew that the nursing homes were closed to visitors, and that those folks were probably maybe in need of some brightening to their day. And so we did organize a face-to-face meeting of our Kiwanis in a home where we could all socially distance. Everyone brought lots of craft materials and created some very colorful and interesting cards that were then delivered to our local nursing home in order to help them know that we were thinking about them and to perhaps take the edge off of their difficulties and their challenges, and now having no one coming and going on a daily basis to visit. The next is something that we do on the next slide. It's something that is a part of every year, and it was easily able to happen as it was easy to mask up and socially distance as we cleaned an area of a roadway outside of Waterford where our club is where our club meets and is a part of. And so we continued to do that on a beautiful June morning. We met and cleaned the road as we always do, and it takes a great effort. And our club has always looked forward to doing this, especially at the start of the summer. The next project that we took on was a community food drive, and that's the next slide. As we learned, with people being sent home from work, and families were now in a very different position than they were prior to COVID in terms of meeting their basic needs. And we have been very active with our Waterford food pantry. And we learned that they might struggle as a result of the fact that we had more families now reaching out for the food that was available through the pantry. And so we stepped up to the plate, and we realized that we needed to help in some way. And so this became a fundraiser in that we reached out to the community through all of our social media and just let it be known by word of mouth that we were trying to help the Waterford Food Pantry be able to serve all of the members of the community who came looking for food this year. And so we were just overwhelmed by the generosity of the community and the people who heard about this initiative. And we raised over $4,000 for the Waterford Food Pantry. Then the members of our Kiwanis Club were given, I'm still on the food pantry, they were given grocery lists, and we went out and we shopped for the things that the pantry provides in the boxes that they give to participating families. And then we also helped to sort that food so that it could be easily available as the drive-through food pantry was set up for the members of the community. The next slide is the PBS auction. This is an annual event that occurs here in Erie for our local WQLN public broadcasting station. And in order for them to continue the great work that they do, especially in their children's program, they rely on volunteers to come during their auction to answer the phones. Our club has done this for several years. It is a great contribution to a worthwhile cause, and it also is a great way to get the Kiwanis name out there, because as you can see, we were permitted to wear our Kiwanis paraphernalia, and hopefully it made some people wonder, what is Kiwanis, and perhaps even find a local club to get more information about the things that we do. Our next project was one that was very important to us. We realized that the seniors of 2020 were really disappointed at having their school year changed so drastically, and those special traditions that they typically had an opportunity to enjoy had disappeared. And so we wanted to help make graduation special so that those students in the class of 2020 could leave or end their school year on a high note. We started by collecting or by purchasing bison blue ribbon and white ribbon, and we decorated the town light posts with big bows of blue and white, the class colors, and just that was up the week before they graduated. And then we went to the administration of the Fort LeBeouf School District, and in the center of this slide you see the high school principal, Mr. Martin Rimpa, with the bison mascot there. And we asked, what could we do? We want to help in some way. And they had just made the decision that they were going to do a virtual in your car ceremony at the local Sunset Drive-In. So we said, we want to help. So why don't we decorate the entrance so that as the students and their families arrive, they'll just have this, exceptional welcoming committee there to say, we're so glad that you're here and congratulations. So you can see the balloons and the banners. We had an inflatable bison there and a bison shirt, and it was just really exciting for us to be able to do that. And what made it even more exciting is that as the students drove in with their families one by one, the looks on their faces was just incredible. Some of them that had sunroofs were outside waving like the king and queen of England, and just smiling. We, as a group, our Kiwanians, we took pictures of every family that entered the drive-in and passed those along to the senior class advisor so that she could put them out and share them with all the kiddos. We handed out programs and the popcorn that was provided by another organization, and it was just so clear by the smiles on their faces and the feedback we received the following day that graduation 2020 was fun, and it was special, and it was something they would never forget. The next thing is also an idea that was decided upon in order to help engage our families. We knew that everyone was just searching for things to do outside their home. They were getting tired of being cooped up. Yet we had to come up with something that would also be perceived as safe, because we didn't want people to think we were ignoring the safety guidelines. And the decision was made that we would have a scavenger hunt. And our committee created 4 levels of exploration. So the pre-K to K kids were given a list of 10 questions, as well as K1, grades 1 and 3, grades 4 and 6, and grades 7 and 12. Each group had 10 questions to answer. They would enter their answers online, and that gave them a ticket to be in a drawing at the end of this event. And if they took a photo, as you see there on the slide, that gave them an extra ticket in the drawing. And all of the participants were given an ice cream cone certificate to one of the 2 local ice cream shops, and that was purchased by our club. And then for the prize drawings, we had the zoo donate 4 guest passes. We purchased $25 gift cards. As you heard Jane say, we tried very hard to think of how we could help our businesses during this time as well. And when we did have prizes, we purchased the gift cards in order to show the businesses our support. And we have a member of our club who is a fabulous cupcake baker, and she donated 4 dozens of her delicious, beautiful cupcakes. We had a Facebook Live session at one of our summer meetings outside in the park that had the drawing so that the kids could tune in to see if they were one of the winners. It was a very successful event. It not only helped them to get outside and be active, it also helped them to learn something about the Waterford community. The next thing that we did, again, goes back to helping the school district. At the Fort LeBeouf School District, as I'm sure in most schools, the water fountains needed to be turned off, and therefore in the Fort LeBeouf School District, they created water bottle filling stations, and all students were encouraged to bring their own bottle to school each day. They realized they would need to have extra bottles for those students who forgot their bottles, so that everyone could be hydrated in the course of the day. And so we made it our goal to reach out to businesses and other places that might be able to donate bottles. And we clearly had over 500 water bottles donated to the Fort LeBeouf School District for them to have in the back as extras for the students to use. As fall came upon us and Halloween was looming, we realized in the next slide that the children probably weren't going to have all of the things that they normally get to do at Halloween happen at school. So again, we just brainstormed, as we do often at our meetings, what else can we do to help this community, and decided let's have an online costume contest. And so children in K to 5 at our 3 elementary schools were invited to participate, and we just asked them to send us a picture of themselves in their costume. And we were going to award the best costume and the most original costume at each grade level. The prizes included books and crafts and gift cards, again, to the area businesses. We had 32 of the children participate, and that may not seem like a great number, but again, anything that we did, as long as we had some participation, we felt that that was a success. So our online costume contest was a success. And moving forward in the fall, in the next slide, as many of you do, we had our rose sale, and we also have an annual potato sale in our community around just before Thanksgiving time. So this year, in addition to asking people to buy roses and potatoes for themselves, we encouraged them to make a donation of dozens of roses or potatoes. And what we then did with those donated roses, as you can see on the left side, is that we gathered up small vases and made mini bouquets, and they were delivered to a local nursing home in order to help brighten their day. And the potatoes were donated to one of the 2 food pantries in our school district. So again, this fundraiser was a huge success. Our rose sale skyrocketed to 120 dozen from, I believe, 70 to 90 roses, and our potato sale also was definitely over the top. And so this was an example of how the community backed us in trying to help others who were in need during this COVID time. The next project is something that Jane talked about. Here in Erie County, the Office of Children and Youth has a foster love project, and one of our Kiwanians is the chairperson of that project. And similar to what Jane described, the Foster Love Project packs book bags or diaper bags, depending on the age of the child who's going into foster placement. And in that bag, there are new PJs, a blanket, an outfit, a book, a toy, and the necessary toiletries needed to help them feel welcome and cared for. And this photo on the slide shows one of our club meetings where we socially distanced with our masks on to create tied blankets, which are often part of our one-day activity. And we made them twin size so that we could place them in the bags for the foster care project. In addition to the blankets, our club has gathered all the materials needed in order to meet in March and assemble the 70 bags that are needed for the next wave of children going into foster care. And finally, our last project was our Snowman Day. Once again, we're brainstorming things such as what can we do? It's wintertime, people are tired of being inside, but it's cold and snowy outside. So we decided, why not build a snowman? And so we asked people, do you want to build a snowman? And we advertised it through all 3 of the elementary schools. We advertised it on our website as well. And setting up using Sign Up Genius, families had to register so that we were prepared for the number of people that were going to come that day. And we had 3 dates should the snow not be appropriate. And the second date was the one that worked. However, it wasn't the best snow in the world there at the Waterford parks. We had permission to use the 2 parks in the center of town, but we were just overwhelmed by the response in the community, the families that registered, and then they really thought hard about what they were going to do, as you can see there by our Ghostbuster Marshmallow Man and our hippie snow girl there. We saw people showing up with water to make the snow more manageable, with costumes, everything they would need. And we had each group socially distanced in the 2 parks. And it was just a great fun day. We provided hot chocolate and cookies. And we also provided a pine cone bird feeder activity so that they had something to do once they finished their snowman and were waiting for the results. We gave prizes to the best artistic design, the most original, and the best classic snowman. Again, we purchased the restaurant cards to give out. And as it turned out, every team of snowman builders received a card because of the number of cards that we had purchased and the number of people that were there. And all of the students received a special certificate of participation. And so, as I said earlier, each time we meet, the members of our club are asked to think about what can we do next, or what can we do now in order to engage our community, in order to sometimes fundraise for our organization, but mostly to allow our families to see us as a presence that is there to try to encourage good things to happen that benefit the children in our community. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Deborah. I have Debbie's information here right on the slide. Also, they have a great, lots of great pictures on their Facebook page. Check them out if you're on Facebook. These are amazing ideas from both clubs, and I'm really excited for both of you guys, and lots of great ideas for everybody. I hope you guys are taking notes. This will be recorded as well and is on Facebook Live now. As if we only have like maybe a couple, well, barely any time, but if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand or put in the chat. I just see a lot of great positive comments.